which I do like to see between the players because we do the loser pick format for our finals. It's one of the more creative choices you can make as a tournament organizer. But SKillous was saying it doesn't matter what map comes next because I'm not going to lose, so I won't have to pick it. Anyway, there's the man himself, Liquid SKillous.
And in the bottom left, ShoWTimE. The wall.
Die Mauer.
Die
Mauer. I believe that's how you say the wall in German.
Very cool. Die Mauer.
Yeah, I'm curious. How many Phoenix are we going to get here?
Oh, no. I had forgotten. I had forgotten about that. Who was that? Max Pax and...
I think it was Max Pax and SKillous, probably. Or maybe Max Pax and ShoWTimE.
Anyway. Whoever it was, that was a very silly PvP series.
Yes. Yes, it was. Oh, SKillous. Building a proxy pylon. He says, ShoWTimE, I'm going to get inside your head. And by that,
I like it.
He's going to try and murder ShoWTimE, who's going for the greediest build you can in PvP, which is a 1-gate expand.
Ow. Risky against a proxy, especially here. Dude. ShoWTimE, seriously. Game 1.
It's...
Game 1.
Both players are taking risks here.
Yeah,
SKillous
but one risk is riskier.
Yeah, and SKillous is just doing this... Well, I guess he did scout ShoWTimE just having the one gateway, I suppose. And he's like, yeah, you're going to be expanding, and I'm going to be going for some killing. ShoWTimE already has the battery on the way up. He's got one stalker out, a Stargate on the way. But SKillous already has two adepts out, 2 stalkers on the way behind it. The Robo about to finish up, so he'll probably chrono boost out. Okay, it's a Prism on the way.
Okay, there you go. Phoenix on the scout out. He sees the adepts about 2 seconds before they showed up anyway. Adepts go in. Hard wall with the pylon at the top of the ramp. Nice response there from ShoWTimE. Impressive stuff. Stalkers joining the battle here too. And yeah, it's going to be aggressive. ShoWTimE pulls back into the main base. The Adepts got in the main. No, they didn't finish the shade there. Canceled it instead.
Yeah, that is interesting. I guess SKillous just wants these Adepts in the main assault on the front. As the Prism is coming forward here, he's also been chrono boosting out Warp Gate, so he will be able to warp in like 3-4 stalkers here. Well, 3, because he's got 3 gateways. As soon as those are done transforming, there they go. And this is a full-blown assault by SKillous getting ready to take place here.
Shield Battery is going to be so important here. Void Ray going to help a little bit too. You're going to shove away that War Prism at least for now. Stalkers are pretty good against all this stuff, though. Against other Stalkers, against Void Rays.
Yeah.
And more Shield Batteries getting tossed up, though.
SKillous is starting this attack a little bit late, but he's just going to go for the big dive and hope he can win the game. Great Prism juggling so far, keeping all these units alive. He's going to want to pick off the Void Ray at some point, as it does have Prismatic Alignment, getting damage done. SKillous is microing back injured Stalkers, keeping their damage alive in this game. The one Void Ray does go down right as the second one shows up, though, and that is a big deal.
Yeah, that timing worked out quite nicely. Warping in another round of 3 Stalkers for SKillous. And shading an Adept to see what we're dealing with here. How many Shield Batteries are there? 4 now. Is crazy. And gonna blink, or yeah, I mean, War Prism blink up into the main base. Away from those Shield Batteries. He's got to kill his own Shield Battery to get into his main now. ShoWTimE does. That's insane. Depowering the Stargate
Oh,
and
man,
the
what a play.
Warp Gate is huge too. Probes getting pulled off the line to fight here. SKillous trying to target fire down the Void Ray. It has to fall back. It is a 20 to 23 army supply. Probes fighting, probes dying. Can't afford to lose some workers here. ShoWTimE can, but not too many. Obviously, the War Prism getting out of there. Can SKillous win this fight? It looks like it's going to be very close. But at the end of the day, I think ShoWTimE might just barely hold it, and he does.
Yeah, ShoWTimE barely holds, but only 13 workers remain. SKillous is warping in. Well, he's producing another prism. He's warping in some more stalkers, so he may just try and drop ShoWTimE. And if he can get a couple more probe kills, that would potentially be game-ending damage. ShoWTimE chrono boosting out. More probes, trying to get his economy back online. At the same time, he's got to be ready for a potential second round of this by SKillous, and that's exactly what we're seeing. SKillous looking to go for the main base. A Void Ray is out, though. ShoWTimE only making probes. Good force fields by ShoWTimE, forcing some of those stalkers back into the prism. That's quite nicely done. SKillous now going towards the main base once again.
This is a fun game one, man. Back inside the main base, we go, warping in more stalkers. Force fields being used.
Oh, there is a battery in the mineral line. That's
There
really
is
nice.
one. That Void Ray is alive through the grace of shield batteries, man.
Oh,
Nice.
holy
Oh my
cow,
gosh.
it barely stays alive. Good force fields by ShoWTimE once again, but great lifts by SKillous as this micro battle continues on. It's 31 supply for the red Protoss. ShoWTimE only at 20 with fewer units than his opponent as one of the gateways went down. He doesn't have much to replace these units. There was no extra Void Ray building. ShoWTimE has literally just got one gate production, and all of a sudden he's feeling it as he can't make enough units.
Yeah, this is nuts, man. Stalker Micro at its best. He's like, Stargate, sure, we'll take that down.
Yeah, SKillous warping in 3 stalkers at a time. ShoWTimE can only make 1. Mining in the main base is being disrupted as ShoWTimE is actually just choosing to fall back to his batteries and abandon the main base, but SKillous picks off the Void Ray, and I believe that's going to be it for ShoWTimE. It was such a close hold, but now SKillous has just got way too much of a death ball here on his one base all-in that's ran for 8 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, it really shows as SKillous gets the GG how good ShoWTimE is. He went for the risky macro 1-gate Nexus expand, and he survived super long against a proxy 4-gate or 3-gate there from SKillous. So amazing, amazing stuff. Able to stay alive as long as he did. That was a build order loss, effectively, but we took it to 8 minutes, which is much longer than many Protoss players would have survived there, so GG. Aki asked, does a depowered shield battery still gain energy while it's depowered?
That's a good question.
It does. I don't think it does.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know. Because, like, another question is, does an unpowered gate? Yeah. I get a feeling they do. Because, like, I imagine an unpowered gateway regenerates shields still.
I'm not positive it does, though. Does it?
I get a feeling so, because, like, a pylon regenerates shields on its own, but then it is a pylon, so it's... And a Nexus regenerates shields on its own.
Someone get into StarCraft 2 and test this for us.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
But who knows?
John Solo, launch StarCraft 2. Test this for us real quick.
Okay, away we go.
Game 2 on Pylon, an appropriately named map for a PvP. Bottom right of Pylon, it's showtime.
And in the upper left, it is SKillous. SKillous saying he was confident in the PvP, saying he wasn't going to lose. But that may be more difficult if ShoWTimE doesn't go for a one base. Or a one gate, pardon me.
Yeah, very specifically a 2-base. John Solo's testing it for us. He says playing Protoss makes him feel dirty. It's for science. It's for a good cause, John Solo.
Science. ShoWTimE, after being the victim of a proxy himself, continues the cycle of violence and goes for a proxy himself.
I like it. May the cycle of violence continue in StarCraft. Not in the real world. Not good out there. But in StarCraft, it's great. Very fun.
SKillous does have a scouting probe, though, so he should be aware that this is coming. And he will be on the defensive. SKillous going for his own robo. Stalkers are scouting around, looking for this proxy, and oh, it's actually been found by the probe, so SKillous is coming for this right now. Two Adepts are going to try and save the day as this is just being targeted down. Another pylon gets built right now by ShoWTimE. Adepts are actually dealing decent damage to the Stalkers as the Stalkers were attacking the pylon, which is not something you see every day. And so it looks like that Immortal may actually get out. Adepts kill one Stalker.
And the Immortal's definitely going to finish here. Stalkers come up to defend from ShoWTimE as well. Here we go. 2 Immortals, an Adept, and an... 2 Stalkers, an Immortal, and an Adept going to push out here against 3 Stalkers. Going to be some sick micro needed here from SKillous to survive this thing, because this is tough.
Yeah, he does have a sentry about to pop out, so he can just force field this ramp to stay alive.
And a second sentry. 3 sentries can infinitely force field a ramp, cycling their energy. But I mean, infinitely force fielding your ramp doesn't win you the game. So, just buys you some time is what it does. Wait. Massive units can break force fields, right?
Immortals are not massive.
Ah.
Just Archons for Protoss. And Colossus.
And Colossus. Yeah. Sentry's trying to tickle them to death on the low ground. Warp Gate gets taken out. That's a big chunk of his available production.
Yeah.
And he can hit the second one, too. Comes in, depowers the Robo in revenge. And going to head on down to the main base. There are some units here. Probably warping in another Stalker would be nice.
Yeah, ShoWTimE trying to bully SKillous, but now SKillous has his own Immortal out, going for a second one, whereas ShoWTimE cannot produce that.
Oh, good force field.
Yeah, ShoWTimE's only going to get so much work done with this, and now SKillous does have this Prism, so he can just micro against these Stalkers. He couldn't, if he micros this well enough, he could in theory win this, but...
A depowered both of these Warp Gates back here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Great target fire on that pylon.
ShoWTimE gets supply block 2 by this. That's really painful, as his production effectively got paused for a moment. Unpowered Robo is sad. Okay, now the Phoenix can hunt down this. Is there a recall? Looks like there is from SKillous. Thank goodness for Protoss. Warp Prisms are no longer light. Were they light at some point? Maybe I'm wrong.
Were what light?
Warp Prisms.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. I just thought Phoenix used to deal more damage to them, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of Oracles, which they definitely used to deal more damage to. Okay, now SKillous is on the offensive, going for an attack. However, there is 3 Phoenix in the sky and not that much anti-air, so the Prism will just be targeted by these Phoenix, sacking themselves, well, sacking one of them to get that, so no reinforcements for SKillous. 3 Immortals against just 1 that's coming back in the Prism for ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE is fighting without that, though, which is very, very painful. He has to pull back an injured Phoenix, so a lift gets shut down, and fighting without this Immortal is so painful for ShoWTimE. He's got to retreat up his ramp.
Hallucinated Colossus providing a little bit of distraction here from ShoWTimE, too. I'm sure he knows that's what it is. Phoenix are attacking it because they don't really have anything else to do, I guess.
Yeah, well, shutting that down to deny the vision is nice. Still 1 base against 1 base. Phoenix for ShoWTimE are flying around looking for a pickoff. They do find an extra Prism. They're very, very low on HP, so they will kill the Prism, but one of them does go down. Force field's going down by ShoWTimE. Nicely done. His own Prism isn't really helping juggle these units, which definitely hurts him a little bit. However, he does grab one of Skillous's Immortals. Lifting a Stalker barely keeps that Phoenix alive. SKillous has been unable to successfully push ShoWTimE. And now ShoWTimE, he's got 4 Phoenix out. They can really kill another Prism. They can lift up these Immortals in a fight. And looks like ShoWTimE is actually going to bring the fight to his opponent before Skillous can reinforce. Phoenix getting some very good lifts. Adepts going, well, just soaking as much damage as they can. And Skillous has to recall, loses 1 Immortal on the way out. As the momentum swings yet again in this game where both players are on 1 base.
Awesome. Full evacuation there, going back home. Skillous, army value 27 to 34. ShoWTimE is bigger. He's got some better tech here as well. And ShoWTimE is out for blood. He's coming across the map here. He is not sitting back home and consolidating. He's expanding behind it.
Yes, he is. And Skillous is really starting to mine out here. He goes for a Twilight Council, and he's warped in some Stalkers. He was so worried about the counter swing that he made a ton of units, and now he's just being contained. He could be force fielded here, so he's got to be very careful, but without a Prism, there's really no way for him to get down this ramp now. And he does have a Prism. Okay, it's on the other side of the map, getting some good harassment damage done potentially as 2 Adepts show up uncontested. ShoWTimE warps in 3 to counter this.
Yep, Shade's out of there, though. Gonna get on out. And at this point, just containing Skillous on 1 base while
he's got to recall that, or he may lose the Prism to the Phoenix. Yeah, recall.
Phoenix can't find it, though. Yeah, Phoenix going the wrong way. 2 Adepts unload inside the main base of ShoWTimE now. And there are 3 Adepts and a Sentry. More stuff warping in, and ShoWTimE's coming home. What? What is he...
I don't know.
Why are we coming home?
What?
This is going to give Skillous an opening to expand now. Oh, okay, now the Warp Prism is going to die.
Yeah, it just barely perishes. SKillous is planning on just going for a big final one base assault against his opponent. He's got barely any income. ShoWTimE is starting to mine off this natural base, so SKillous needs a fight, but he knows he can't. And the series ties up.
Whew! Yeah, that was really fun stuff there. Great one base to one base shenaniganry. As you said, the back and forth was excellent in that game. Man, SKillous went up to about 25, 30 workers and just never made another probe the entire time. Makes sense. He was stuck on one base.
Yep. PvP is very fun in that, and getting an expansion is a big deal. So, like, a lot of games just hinge on that first expansion. Big thanks to everyone for tuning in today. If you're not already following the channel and you haven't clicked the like button, do both of those things, as we're here every 2 weeks on Soup. You can check out Falcon Paladin and my own YouTube channel. Yeah, and if you want to watch past events, you can see all the VODs here on Soup too.
Yeah, pretty good site, all fancy. Soup created it, and it is... I don't have any problems with it. It's fantastic. Great streaming site for sure.
Yeah, it's been really, really great.
Incorporeal. I always have a hard time saying this word. Incorporeal just means doesn't have a body. That's what this word means. Like ghost. Ghosts are incorporeal.
All right, there is ShoWTimE in the bottom right.
And SKillous in the top left.
His team has their clan photo on, which is very cool.
Yeah. So it's incorporeal.
Incorporeal.
Incorporeal. A lot of syllables, man.
I've always read it like incorporeal.
Yeah, me too. I don't think it is. It just means without a body, which is a weird name for a map. Are you going to be a sneaky probe or are you a scouting probe?
All probes are suspicious.
Yes, they are. I'm just wondering, should we be really suspicious or not?
We'll see. Both players move out with a probe, trying to keep each other honest.
Hold on, did John Solo give us our science?
He didn't.
He didn't. So that playing Protoss makes me feel dirty was a refusal of the request. He wasn't willing to overcome his own disgust.
I'm pretty confident that it does. Who knows? Maybe we'll get an answer in a PvP best of 7.
Right. Find a depowered shield battery somewhere.
Tricky probe running around the base of ShoWTimE. SKillous seeing that one zealot is like, oh, you're expanding. SKillous
noted.
Doesn't seem to be going for his own expansion yet. It's like, you either got this choice. Do I try and kill my opponent and punish them for expanding, or do I just take my own expansion?
That is the science.
A lot of Protoss usually opt for the first, and that's exactly what SKillous is doing here as he goes for a third Robo. And ShoWTimE's probe. I don't know. I think that was far enough in to confirm no Nexus, but maybe not. It was very, very close.
It was right on the edge there. What do you think? What does ShoWTimE think?
Anyway, regardless of that, of whether you scout it or not, you should be preparing for aggression, basically, is how it works. SKillous has 4 stalkers, so he's going to go in. ShoWTimE will have to rely on that battery. He immediately throws up another one. SKillous does need to be really careful with these units. ShoWTimE has his Oracle coming on in. SKillous intercepts it with 2 stalkers that do have to pursue. There's no battery in the mineral line, so this is really nice damage. Every probe matters in this situation. SKillous warps in another pylon on the front lines. ShoWTimE has his 1 Void Ray out. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here.
All right. We're going to do fancy Blink Micro here. By that I mean Warp Prism Blink Micro again. Warp Prism continuing to provide mobility and reinforcements. What a great unit it is. Oracle comes in and try to fight and kill some of these probes. 2 stalkers will chase that away quite nicely, though. Shield batteries, again, really important here for ShoWTimE. Shield battery, 1 out of energy. 2 and 3 looking pretty good. Trying to snipe down one of the shield batteries. Doesn't get targeted there by SKillous. Very nicely done.
I believe that was the one that had some energy remaining, so that's a nice pickoff. ShoWTimE does utilize his energy recharge ability to get more energy on this battery. He will need it as SKillous continues to bully him. Using this prism, using his higher stalker count. ShoWTimE's just spamming down batteries. He does have 3 Void Rays out now, which is no joke, though.
Yeah, they're dancing, picking, not quite getting any kills here, but taking shields and HP off of these stalkers as much as they can. Just poking, prodding here.
Oh.
Okay, stalker down. Got 1. God, got another one there. And the shield batteries are just keeping everything alive here from ShoWTimE.
This does become more and more difficult for the blue Protoss to micro as the red Protoss gains more firepower in these Void Rays that stack up upon each other. And SKillous is going to try and grab 1 Void Ray. He gets 1 for the price of what I want to say was 2 stalkers. But time is on ShoWTimE's side. He has got up to 30 probes.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 base to 1 base. The longer this goes, we know how this is going to turn out. Gets 1 shield battery. Tries taking down a Void Ray. Can't quite get it. Trying to go after the Nexus here. That could turn the tide if he gets the Nexus.
It really could. It would take pressure off SKillous to end the game. As the blue Protoss will be starting to mine out sometime soon. He goes for a dive, picks off 2 Void Rays. That is huge. He does need to pull back, though, as that prismatic alignment deals so much damage.
Yeah,
and
timed, though. It is going to wear out, and we are just all-inning here, man.
Oh, yeah.
SKillous shows no sign of expanding at all from this point.
Oh, just going to go for the Nexus?
He's got to get it right now.
Gets a Void Ray. Oh my gosh, is this turning? Oh, SKillous does lose a lot of his stalkers in that fight. ShoWTimE does grab the prism.
Oh, that's huge.
Can SKillous
Dude,
at least get that Nexus? No,
I think that's
so
a mistake.
low.
He didn't go for the Nexus.
Yeah, Army
He
Supply
had
is
the
even.
opportunity. He's going to try to
He
take
needs
it
to
out.
target that down. He's going for the Void Rays still, which is a very bold play.
He's not getting them, though. They're pulling back perfectly. They're getting the heal up.
Yeah. SKillous warps in 3 more stalkers. If he just volleyed down that Nexus, it was 1 volley away. ShoWTimE can potentially recharge it with a battery as well, which would be a big, big deal. And maybe that's why SKillous isn't going for the Nexus, because he knows ShoWTimE can do that. Oh, yeah, but, like, SKillous goes in. That's, like, 2 stalkers for 1, which is not good. Okay, Void Ray's Prismatic Align. Get another Stalker. SKillous is going to wait for that to expire before going in. 37 army supply against 38. This has been going on for so many minutes at this point. SKillous will be mining out now. Okay, the blue Protoss is going to try again, but he's just flat broke. There's his Prism. He was waiting for the Prism so he could micro once again, and he's going to try. Good force fields by ShoWTimE, buying himself more time, and that's all he needs. All he needs is time.
It is 100% on his time, man. John Solo does report, yes, it recharges when it's unpowered. Thank you so much for confirming what Aki was saying, John Solo.
Oh,
Appreciate
the Prism's
science.
gone again. SKillous is
And-
not going to break this, I don't think. GG.
No. The aggression, major aggression there. One base in it again is SKillous. Can't quite pull it off. He is now down 2-1 in our best of 7 finals here. PvP, man, it is on a knife's edge more often than not. That 2 base kicked in around 7 minutes or so for ShoWTimE and really helped immensely. Good stuff. Looks like Persephone is our next map. SKillous is ready to rock. He doesn't need time to figure out that loss.
Yeah, and that game is a good example of why some players do try and get out that expansion. Like, it was so precarious, but in the end, ShoWTimE was able to justify it by holding on and just winning the game. If players could never hold going for that expansion, they'd just never go for it.
Right. But shield batteries are extremely helpful, and you could make it happen. Good micro is obviously important there, too. ShoWTimE's got micro for days.
He does.
Like how Persephone's write-up is Reflection Symmetry, Acceleration Zone Highway, Gold Base. Like, some of these write-ups are like poetry, and this guy's like, it's got these things.
What do you want? It's the map description in the map description box.
Right. I'm not taking any time writing this.
All right. In the bottom left, bringing the series back, it is ShoWTimE, who's now in the lead, 2-1.
Right. Looking good. In the top left, SKillous of Team Liquid.
All right. This is, like, honestly, these PvPs are the really fun ones to watch. Like, when it's not Phoenix versus Phoenix, knock on wood. And when it is, just, like, this kind of aggression and peak micro by these players.
And it's a left side spawn map. Probe mineral mining game. This showed up in Brood War last week.
Like the probe mining game?
This thing right here. I mean, not this necessarily, but where you mine at the minerals and stop the workers from mining because there's already a worker on it.
Huh.
Right?
Is this something
Yeah.
Brood War players didn't do before? Or
No, not at all. It was not something you ever saw, but totally a Protoss was doing it in a PvZ for a good, like, 2 minutes.
Huh.
It was amazing. And I was like, I'm surprised we hadn't seen this.
It took
more
them 20
often.
years to figure that out.
Right? Well, it's been happening in StarCraft 2 for 10 years. So
Yeah.
you have an example, and it's all the same mechanics. There's no difference between Brood War and StarCraft 2 mechanics on that. It's one mineral patch, it's a probe, it's drones, it's all the same code. So it works exactly the same, and it's just weird that Brood War Protoss weren't doing it at all. I'm not even sure it's even gonna really pick up. It was maybe just that one time, and it will never happen again.
Who did it? Was it like a former StarCraft player or StarCraft 2 player?
No, I don't think so. I think it was Mini, who's straight up Brood War player. I don't think he ever did the StarCraft 2.
Zoomy Pro going to get healed up.
So fun. Man, so it's like, middle of May here.
Mm-hmm.
And the weather's just been like rainy and overcast and kind of cold, and I haven't had to turn the air conditioning on at all. It's crazy.
Do you usually have to run that in May?
Yeah, middle of May we start getting 85, 90 degree days usually here in Utah, so it gets roasty, but not
better than the alternative, which is fire.
Yes, correct. I mean, if we can delay those days as long as we can, because they're coming.
Yep, they are coming.
They're coming, but the more delay there is, the better I feel about it. The fewer 95-degree days we get, the better.
Yeah,
in a year.
We've had some nice days here, but no, like, scorchers or anything.
Yeah.
And now it looks like we do have a bit of rain, but not too much. I live in a completely different part of my province now. So I basically went from living in a rainforest to living in, well, not a rainforest. So it's very interesting because even when it rains, it's like this isn't really rain. This is a trickle. So
right. There's a difference between rainforest torrential downpour, you'll drown standing in the rain, versus like a little sprinkle.
Yeah, but it is honestly kind of nice because like the springs here I think are probably nicer because you do get way less rain, so there's more nice days. Or at least maybe it's just my first year here, so it's kind of hard to make that assumption. Adepts run to the healing machine.
Yay!
Interestingly enough, I mean both players have a Nexus up, so that is one way you can safely get up an expansion if you have a gentleman's agreement. But ShoWTimE is looking to try and end that agreement, and he did go for a second Cyber Core as a wall because he knows the Adepts are going to try and crash his gates as both players are getting aggressive. ShoWTimE with Blink trying to kill SKillous, and he seems to be having some success with it, picking off every single unit, picks off the prison that was microing units. The one battery finishes up. This may buy SKillous a little bit of time as probes are fighting en masse. SKillous targeting down an injured Stalker. He does get it. There's a blink by ShoWTimE on top of it. SKillous warps in another Stalker, but it gets deleted. There is an Immortal about to finish up. The Adepts on the other side of the map have got into the base of ShoWTimE, though, and are doing their own damage, forcing a recall by the red Protoss that takes the heat completely off of SKillous.
And both players lose exactly 8 probes.
Yes, but SKillous had more in the first place, apparently.
Yes, apparently, as he's at 35 now to 26, so massive advantage economically, despite losing the same number of workers.
Oh my gosh, the StarCraft 2 is hard to observe at times, because it's just like, there's this fight that's so action-packed, but on the other side of the map, there's more stuff going on, too. Really, really good result, though, for SKillous, as he's got an Immortal out. He just needs to be careful not to lose any units by mismicroing. He really needs to hunker down, and he should be fine.
Yeah, it's a nice advantage in army and workers right now for SKillous. Feeling nice. ShoWTimE's going to try to maybe shrink that advantage a little bit. Adept Shades do see the Stalkers coming, so SKillous should be fairly ready for it here. The Immortals especially, man. It is so hard to engage into a group like that when you don't have any Immortals of your own. SKillous might even consider pushing rather than just kind of sitting on the back foot.
He very well could do. Like, ShoWTimE isn't dead. They're both on 2 bases. He's just got a worse army, but he's got much more micro potential as he does pick off a sentry. That's really, really nice. SKillous, though, has got 2 Adepts and a Prism, which can absolutely cause problems. ShoWTimE has Stalkers back at home, though, that can respond to this, so it shouldn't be too bad, but any probe damage is really, really nice at this point for SKillous.
Another 3 probes down. 4 probes down. 5 probes down.
Oh my gosh.
6 probes down. And a 7th.
Yep.
Or he finally gets taken out.
ShoWTimE is running with his Stalkers too. He's not going to find the Prism because SKillous knows ShoWTimE is hunting for it, although maybe it is in that corner there, so SKillous is trying to bait it out almost, or just responding to the threat of the main army. Yeah, ShoWTimE splitting his Stalkers here, some on the offensive, some on the defensive. It's very, very risky to try and go for this split as the Adepts are coming back into his base. Stalkers blink in on top of those Adepts. That's going to leave his front vulnerable. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, ShoWTimE did grab an Immortal. He recalls the rest of his Stalkers, just putting it all on the defense. He got some good offensive damage done picking off that Immortal. Now he is just going to try and shut this down hard. And he may be able to. He's got a lot of Stalkers. He kills the Prism. Probes are making this a great fight for ShoWTimE.
And, taking down an Immortal there, too. Great target firing. 28-8 army supply. Goodness gracious. Orping in some more stuff to try to save it. More Immortal production coming in here, too. ShoWTimE heading across the map with a murderous intent here. SKillous trying to take a 3rd base?
Yeah,
that's the right move here.
That is going to buy a little bit of time at best, but ShoWTimE might just even ignore that and just be going for the kill. There's 1 battery out for SKillous. SKillous doesn't have his own blink. ShoWTimE, though, is looking to make the mature decision and maybe just kill the Nexus. That is so responsible by the red Protoss, but maybe he can get some work done as he does go for a blink. It's 1 Stalker for 1 Stalker. Can he get the Immortal? The Force Field says yes. Nice Force Field.
Yeah, 1 Force Field perfectly placed. That is, I respect that a lot more than the Force Field spam, which is much easier to do. But yeah, that was perfectly placed to keep that Immortal's retreat path blocked off here. Just completely firing away at everything here. That shield battery could get targeted down. ShoWTimE wasting some attacks on the Nexus here. I think he's got better targets to go for at this stage of the attack.
Yeah,
and
looks like
Sentry a little bit too slow.
Unfortunate luck for the Sentry there. ShoWTimE is on his way out. He will not make it to that regen array, as SKillous is just pushing out, having his own blink done. All of a sudden, the army supplies are fairly even. The worker supplies are fairly even. Just ShoWTimE is the player now trying to get out at 3rd base. Oh my gosh, this game is pure chaos.
It is. It's PvP, man. It's never not chaos. It's never a PvP where it's like, oh, yes, this was quite solid.
The last time we had calm PvP was back in Heart of the Swarm when both Protoss players would just build up as many Colossus as possible. And then we got like the Adepts and the changed sentries and shield batteries and stuff, and it's just been chaos ever since.
True facts. All right, settling in. 3rd bases for both players. What a new world we find ourselves in, Laughing Games. Amazing.
Yeah.
Resonating Glaive Adepts at 11 minutes in a PvP seems like a choice.
It is a choice, but I guess it's a choice to use the Adepts to try and counter Zealots of ShoWTimE. Which I guess, yeah, isn't a terrible decision by SKillous, because ShoWTimE went for Stalkers, so logically you want to have a buffer for your Stalkers being Zealots. But look at this, SKillous just goes for an attack. This is so aggressive and wrong, honestly, as ShoWTimE punishes him hard with a blink. The Adepts are just going to buffer and die, but SKillous is pushing with a way smaller army.
It's gutsy. I'll give him that. Both players falling back to their sides of the map here on Persephone. SKillous sends some units to the right side. Ooh, look at this speed.
Oh.
Shades in a speed zone. Fastest things in the game. Look at that. Incredible. He's wow. He's hiding him in the very deepest corner of the map there in the bottom right. What are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I mean, he's looking and patiently waiting for an opportunity. SKillous fires up +1 attack on the way. ShoWTimE has yet to get a forge, so that will benefit SKillous in the long run. If this game goes that long, there is potential that ShoWTimE's just going to try and end this game with his ridiculously high Blinkstalker count, and SKillous does not have that much of an army to challenge, or as much of an army to challenge this. He's got Adepts to help buffer, but in a skirmish like this, their effectiveness is questionable. There's the Adept counterattack.
Yep. There it is. Yeah, exactly.
The shade on the Adepts to get out or to get to another base is a little bit late, unfortunately, because if he did have another shade there, he could have potentially kept that harassment going. I do wonder, like, how pro players feel about this matchup in this type of situation, because it seems that ShoWTimE really enjoys this, based off, like, how many PvPs he ends up, where it's like Blinkstalkers versus mass Blinkstalkers, just micro endlessly, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Force Fields, a great concave for ShoWTimE, as he does have a nice little supply lead right now, which is a big, big deal. Immortal gets blinked upon. There was no longer a battery there to help it. SKillous goes for a counter blink. He's got his 2 Immortals still alive. He's got batteries. No energy recharge has been used on these, so his supply is really falling here. Probes have to be pulled, but yeah, the lack of... Oh, he did actually use the energy recharge. ShoWTimE is a killer, though. Realized he could win the fight, and with that, win the game.
Yeah, that +1 attack he has, that SKillous... Oh, no, SKillous has +1 attack. What the heck?
Yeah.
Never mind. Upgrade advantage did not help at all there. Crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Taking out the Robo as well.
It's over,
GG.
everywhere.
GG. ShoWTimE. Whew. Yeah, I saw the upgrades, and I was like, I feel like that helped here. No, it did not help at all. Sometimes upgrades don't mean as much in these situations. So get upgrades, but don't expect them to save you in every spot that you find yourself in.
Yeah, John Silva heading out. Take care, John.
I think that was a while ago, but take care, John, anyway.
Bye, John.
We need timestamps on these messages.
Yeah, I wonder if I can enable that. Well, I doubt it, but we'll have a look.
Might be helpful. Run Toka Noka or whatever it is. Toka Moka, Moka Toka, Toka Foka. Who knows, man?
There is no option that I can see. That's the hard thing about building a new platform or creating a new game, as we can see that, like, there's so many little features that just get added over a big period of time that it's like, that's really useful. And you don't really notice them or take them for granted until they're gone. And I think that's the case with a lot of the new RTSs coming out. Like, StarCraft 2 could use some new quality of life features and little tweaks, but it's got a lot of them over the period of its development, so.
Yeah, and you're right. Some things we can take for granted, like you said. Like just stuff that has been around in every platform for years, and then a new platform doesn't have it, and you're like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
I thought this just always existed. Like, no, someone has to put it in there. It's got to be an actual decision made. So,
Yeah.
Tokamak.
It was about 15 minutes ago, I think.
Oh. The cooling towers that they get destroyed, I'm reading. It crushes all the blue mineral nodes on the base.
Oh.
So it kills the blue ones, but leaves the gold ones behind.
That's
what?
wild.
How do they do? I guess we need to look at that when we get in here, but yes, that's what it says in the map description. Top right of Tokamak.
Yeah.
It's going to be Team Liquid SKillous.
And in the bottom left, it is ShoWTimE. We will have to take a look at that and see if those minerals get killed. Yeah, they even got little warning icons around them.
Yeah. So how do you kill the blue one but not that gold one? The other ones look like they're out of the way. But that one gold one looks like it should be crushed as well.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's the angle the tower falls at or something.
Maybe.
Map makers are very, very clever, and now more than ever, the future of the game is in their hands. So we appreciate you guys. Double gate from SKillous. ShoWTimE going for the 1 gate again.
Interesting.
This is such a good decision, I think, in this position in a best of 7 where you're up 3-1 as ShoWTimE, because it's almost like baiting SKillous. It's like, yeah, man, I'm going to go for this expansion again. What you going to do about it? And that puts SKillous in such an awkward position. He's like, am I going to all in, or do I macro against ShoWTimE? It's like, oh man, what do I do?
So Aki says maybe the map maker can just mark the gold patches as undestroyable, immortal.
Do apologize. I'm getting a call. 1 sec.
Yeah, very good. So, but do they leave debris behind? If you destroy the towers, does it leave debris in its place, or do they just fall, destroy the minerals, and then evaporate? Because if it's... I don't know, man. I feel like I need to test this out, but I'm in the middle of a game that I'm casting, so hey.
Yes, I do apologize about that.
You're fine.
That's the problem with being on the job hunt. You can no longer just ignore random calls.
That's true.
Chrono Boost on a Stargate. Twilight Council on the way up for SKillous, as both players have gone the respectful route. I like the line of probes from ShoWTimE ready to get to work. Oh, Falcon, it's happening. 2 Stargates.
No. No. No.
Oh, SKillous is actually going for 2 Oracles, though, against Phoenix. Okay, then he transitions into Blink, so we're safe. It's not going to be Phoenix versus Phoenix. Oracle runs right into that Phoenix and immediately recalls.
Good reaction time there. Very nice. Blink getting fired up from SKillous.
ShoWTimE pauses the Phoenix production, goes for a Robo and a Forge. These guys are both being very respectful.
Take that, hallucinated Phoenix. Get out of my base.
You know that Simpsons meme of throwing Barney out of the bar?
Yeah.
Where it's Mo, and then he comes back. Someone needs to make that with hallucinated Phoenix.
Also adepts, man. Like adept shades are the exact same thing.
That's true. An Adept completes the Shade and does get killed. SKillous has his blink done. ShoWTimE going for a later Twilight and a third Nexus, but so is SKillous. +1 on the way, so varying techs, but quite an even situation here.
Yeah, no one's crazy ahead in any one factor or other one. All right, SKillous poking in a little here, sees 2 Immortals and goes, let's fall back for a minute anyway. Nice Revelation getting tossed down by that Oracle.
A Templar Archives is on the way for ShoWTimE, so that's going to allow him to make beefy Archons, which definitely can be used by Protoss in a timing attack if they wish.
Mm-hmm. They can break force fields. Yeah, what do we think that is? Power generation?
I think so. It is kind of comical, no matter the, like how advanced human tech gets. It all pretty much comes down to just spinning a wheel to generate electricity.
It really does. It truly is incredible.
I guess the one exception for that is solar panels.
That's true.
But everything else, like nuclear reactors, potential fusion reactors down the line.
Yeah. Hydrothermal stuff, geothermal stuff. Like all the fancy things we're doing is just... It all comes down to spinning a wheel.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, I went and visited the Hoover Dam. I guess it was
Oh, cool.
over a year ago now. But they were actually replacing one of the turbines that apparently hadn't been opened up in 100 years. And it had just been spinning for 100 years, so that was pretty cool. SKillous does have a bit of a supply lead, although then ShoWTimE does a warpin, and now he's got a bit of a supply lead. That just goes to show how close this game is. SKillous goes for a 5th base, but ShoWTimE is moving out, trying to beat him to it, and we could have a bit of a base race on our hands as a result of this. ShoWTimE with a bit of a beefier army, +2 attack done. Still, though, this is going to be mighty close.
Targeting down the Nexus, going after the SCVs there too, depowering 2 shield batteries, going after the Nexus there too. Nexus down top side for SKillous. ShoWTimE on the other side getting hit, but it's kind of bouncing around a little bit. I'm not sure what the attack was there, but Probes hiding in the top left is pretty funny stuff. I love that.
Okay, he's already building a Nexus, so he's got the money for that. As Probes are transferring for SKillous, ShoWTimE's trying to kill all of those and say, don't go that way, I'm building my Nexus over there.
Trying to sneak up that way. The Probe Massacre, 47-29. The numbers are through the roof right now. How many workers are dying? It is a true base race right now, and that top left base of ShoWTimE's could really come into play in a situation like this. SKillous has some units kind of hanging out, not doing much in that natural base. It does get scouted, though. Nice SKillous obsing with his own observer. So main bases for both players are going down. Tech's going to be down here, too. 91 to 97 army supply. Both players have giant armies. These probes from SKillous hanging out. Maybe he's going to expand on ShoWTimE's side of the map. Who knows?
Yeah. SKillous has got probes in that prism. Zealots are all over the place. Just Protoss everywhere. This base being found is a big deal, as ShoWTimE is running short on building, so he does build up another Nexus at the natural of SKillous, where ShoWTimE can actually defend that location. SKillous has got his in the bottom right building, but ShoWTimE has identified that. SKillous goes for 2 Nexus, as he does have more minerals available than ShoWTimE did.
Ooh. Yeah, this is awesome. We are trading
Oh, this is so
sides
close.
of the map.
Zealots do matter. Every unit matters
Yes.
in this type of
Yes.
situation.
Everything matters so much in this situation. Stasis does catch us something over on the right side. Not sure what that was. But two
Yeah.
Nexuses on the way from SKillous. One in the bottom right, which is under attack.
Yeah, I think SKillous is probably the player that's fine sitting and letting this play out. Okay, yeah, that one Nexus did get killed or canceled.
Oh.
I believe canceled.
Yeah, hopefully canceled.
As
Just waiting to mine here from the gold. Gonna help a lot. ShoWTimE at the natural base of SKillous.
yeah, SKillous has more money than his opponent saved up. He finds a Zealot. That definitely is nice. And oh, we're actually going to have a fight here, but ShoWTimE seems to take the initiative with this one, as his army positioning is much better with his Zealots in the front, whereas SKillous's whole army is retreating. ShoWTime now
what
mining.
a game 5. Yeah, that's massive right there. This proc count is massively in favor of ShoWTimE.
He's going to have to
SKillous
build like 10 pylons, though.
They both are. They're both going to build 100 pylons.
Yeah.
Good grief.
SKillous builds just a gateway, 1 pylon. You're going to need a few more than that. And, like, every second matters on that, too. So, like, SKillous really needs to spend his money, I think, because if he can fire up a few gateways... Oh, he does bait ShoWTimE into some stasis wards. That's a very nice play.
Ooh, that's a big one. It is kind of walling off, though, and creating an artificial choke
Yeah.
for SKillous to walk through. That's interesting.
ShoWTimE has 2 gates done, but not enough pylons. The players are more focused on the fights, as they rightly should be, than they are on replacing their production and units presently. But, like, SKillous does have enough money, and he has had enough money, that if he did build some pylons, some gateways, he could be warping in Zealots. Same with ShoWTimE. He needs more pylons, as both players have some money in the bank. ShoWTimE, there we go, is building the pylons. SKillous is building a Forge and a Twilight, but no pylons just yet. He hasn't been able to rebuild any more probes either. Come on, SKillous, where's your pylons? Where's your extra gateways? He's got 1,200 minerals and isn't doing anything with it, really.
Yeah, ShoWTime's going to come out of... I think he's going to come out of supply block here as these guys come in. Doing the math here, he's better at it than I am, that's for sure.
And that's going to be 2 Zealots he'll be able to warp in every 18 seconds or so. That will make a big difference very quickly. Okay, SKillous is now on it, but he could have done this a solid minute ago. SKillous notably will be able to warp in Stalkers, I suppose, as he does have more unit. Well, a Cybercore done, where ShoWTimE just has his on the way. SKillous, or ShoWTimE fires up +1 armor as well. Pardon me, SKillous fires up +1 armor. The bases have swapped on this map, guys. Oh, ShoWTimE could kill these towers too, potentially.
Ooh, come on.
And he's gonna... No, he's just going for the probes.
Do it!
Do it!
Do it! Do it! Do it! You have immortals!
Be cool. Be cool, ShoWTimE.
ShoWTimE is not being cool. Intentionally so.
SKillous
Come on, ShoWTimE.
is repositioning his army, hoping to catch ShoWTimE out of position, but ShoWTimE has warped in a few Zealots at this point, I believe, so army supply is in favor.
95 to 70 is such a huge advantage here for ShoWTimE.
ShoWTimE is also heading to +1 armor. He's already got the +2 attack lead, so that is a big deal. Can SKillous bait ShoWTimE into that stasis ward? He catches a decent number of his units. Still, though, there's such an army here for ShoWTimE, but SKillous can't allow his mining to be denied.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
Take down the cooling tower for science. Well, he's going to get the Nexus. SKillous is going for another base trade scenario. He decides not to defend his one Nexus. Goes after one of the 2 of ShoWTimE's.
It's not the worst decision in the world.
Yeah,
but here comes ShoWTimE.
He doesn't even get the second Nexus before having to retreat. That sucks.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate slow death, it seems, for SKillous now.
Yeah, Guardian Shield getting popped here. Not really covering anything that needs it necessarily, but SKillous is getting revealed. He doesn't have enough money to build a new Nexus either, and he can't kill ShoWTimE, so it's over.
Yeah.
I don't know what SKillous is hoping for here.
Unless he lands a money disruptor connection and takes a miracle fight or something, but like ShoWTimE just warped in 3 zealots.
Yeah, a miracle fight. We are talking about one of the greatest fights in the history of StarCraft, so...
Yeah, it's not going to happen. A slow, unfortunate death here for SKillous. It seems a disruptor hits an Archon, but that's not going to be enough as the wall is going to take this one. GG.
Nicely done from ShoWTimE, getting the win here in Soup StarCraft Global number 20. Looking fantastic. Probably the favorite to win this thing, and he does. His fans are very happy about that. He's happy about taking home his winnings as well, and representing Germany excellently today. So it is a 4-1 finish here from ShoWTimE. Looking good. Really fun series. PvP, man. We had some crazy one-base aggression. We had a base trade. We had a base race, effectively, where we swapped sides of the map. I mean, can't ask for more than that from a PvP. So, GG's.
Yeah. Yeah, GG. That was a great tournament series. Really well done by ShoWTimE. If we do another European event, I will try and get us less Protoss, so it's not a PvP finals. But as far as PvP finals goes, that was quite a good one.
Yeah, very fun.
No
Absolutely.
mass Phoenix, so it really was good.
I mean, well, look, the one mass Phoenix game is fine. I think that was fun. But when every game is mass Phoenix, that's when it gets ridiculous.
It does get a bit ridiculous, but
yeah.
Yes, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning on in. Check out Falcon Paladin and myself on YouTube, on Twitch. You can find us. I did just link another Soup event in the description, as they've got a show match going on, Hero Marine versus Estrella. Yeah, check out Falcon Paladin's Blue Sky. I haven't got on that bandwagon yet. I'm not as hip and with it, but...
yeah, Soup's out there, too. So,
okay, cool.
You know, if you want to follow Soup on Blue Sky... you can do that. Where's the Soup account? Here it is.
I might have to do that.
There you go.
I did make a Blue Sky account. I just haven't used it at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, anyway, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning on in. We will see you guys at the next one in about 2 weeks' time. And, yeah, we'll see you.
Yeah, sounds good. See you then. A lot of fun and more fun in the future. Thanks again. Love you all, and goodbye.
Bye, everyone.